Hello everybody, welcome to History of Money, Professor Barth, Arizona State University. Lecture 29. We are entering the 20th century, the early 20th century. We're leading right up to the founding of the Federal Reserve System. Not going to quite get there today, but we're going to lead up to it. First, for part A, I just want to take a basic look, brief look at the currency right on the eve of the establishment of the Federal Reserve in December of 1913. This is a look at the money supply in the U.S. in November 1913. About $615 million of gold coin. Remember the Gold Standard Act of 1900 changed the definition of a dollar so that the dollar is only defined in terms of gold, no longer defined in terms of silver. Nevertheless, you still have subsidiary silver coins, half dollars, quarters, and dimes. Those add up to about 160 million. And you still have some silver dollars from before the Gold Standard Act of 1900. They are still legal tender. The Gold Standard Act was clear about that. And they represent 74 million. But of the coinage, gold obviously dominates. Okay. So here's a $20 gold coin, a double eagle. Beautiful coin. Love this coin. Absolutely gorgeous coin. $20, United States of America. Here's a $10 eagle. 1913. All of these coins are 1913. $10. $5 coin. $5. See the Indian head on the front of these coins. And then a $2.50 gold coin. A $2.50 gold coin. Now, especially in this day when prices weren't nearly as high as they are today, $2.50 was a lot, so you're going to need smaller change. And for this purpose, we had subsidiary coins that still have silver in them, at least the half dollar, quarter, and dime. But the silver, while it does give it intrinsic value, the dollar is no longer defined in terms of silver. And the metallic worth, the intrinsic value of these coins, isn't actually quite as high as the extrinsic value that the government's assigned it. Here's a half dollar. These are all 1913 coins. A quarter, a dime. All three of these coins had silver. Then a nickel, and the penny. The penny. Coinage is starting to approach a little bit something to approach what we are familiar with today. All right, and then the paper money. A couple, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because I haven't touched on these monies. There's not a whole lot to say about them, but it is very interesting. Gold certificates. Gold certificates. $1 billion. That's a lot of gold certificates. In fact, that's more than any other currency up here. What's that all about? National banknotes, well, we know that one. $723 million worth. That's a lot of national banknotes out there in circulation. Silver certificates. 480 million. And then something else, United States notes, 341 million. So what's all this about? Well, again, just not too complicated, but in short, we already looked at the national banknotes. Here they are. You're well familiar with these. If not, go back to the national banking video that I did a few lectures ago. So that's a big chunk. What are these gold certificates? Well, beginning toward the end of the Civil War, the federal government announced that they would accept deposits of gold coin and keep that gold, and in exchange issue a certificate. And so these are certificates representing a deposit in the Treasury of gold coin. And you'll notice the language here. It is hereby certified that $10,000 have been deposited with the Assistant Treasurer of the United States, payable in gold. Payable in gold. This is a gold certificate. $10,000. Now, why would you want this gold certificate? Well, think about it. If you owe somebody $10,000, what would you rather do? Pay them with a sturdy, certified $10,000 issued by the federal government gold certificate that certifies this $10,000 is on deposit? Would you rather pay with that, or would you rather have, hundreds and hundreds of double eagles? Probably going to want to go for that gold certificate, right? And so for high value transactions, this is pretty convenient. Also, banknotes don't go this high. So you would need a whole lot of banknotes too to cover this. Gold certificate was good for high value transactions. There's a $5,000 gold certificate. Hereby certified that $5,000 have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States, payable in gold. And they were somewhere in lesser amounts. There's a $500. $500 back then was a lot. That was probably about what an average family would make in 6 months. So there's a smaller one. This would be so you did have smaller denominations. This one's cool. George Washington, $20, payable to bearer on demand in gold coin. This certifies that there have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States of America. $20. So 2 eagles or 1 double eagle. There's a $100 gold certificate. The man picture right there is Thomas Hart Benton. And if you watch the lecture on the bank war, you'll remember that Thomas Hart Benton was a hard money guy, senator from Missouri. His nickname was Old Bullion. So they put Old Bullion on his gold certificate. There's another $20 gold certificate. James Garfield, who was assassinated a few months into his presidency. So that's gold certificates. That's a lot, but it's a little misleading because some of the valuations were so high, and gold certificates are not really circulating as nearly as frequently as coins or anything like that. It's more of something. It doesn't have a high velocity of circulation. Okay, so it's a little misleading there, but that's a lot. No national banknotes. What about silver certificates? There's 480 million of these. Silver certificates work the same way. These began in 1878. What happened in 1878? Oh, yes, the Bland-Allison Act, that first silver purchase act in 1878. It was a limited coinage of silver. Nevertheless, remonetized silver dollars. And silver certificates were a product of that as well. And so this, a silver dollar is a hefty coin. If you owe someone $100, or you want to pay in silver, you'd rather have $100 silver or $100 silver dollar certificate than you would 100 of these, coins. But this certifies that they have been deposited with the Treasurer of the United States of Washington, D.C. 100 silver dollars. 100 silver dollars. Here's another one. This was actually from 1878. The gold certificates from the previous slides were from various issues. These are from 1878. There's Robert Morris, a major financier at the time of the American Revolution. Pretty cool certificate. 10 silver dollars. There's Charles Sumner, who was a major abolitionist and Republican senator in Massachusetts in the 1850s. Silver certificate, 500 silver dollars. And then these are from the 1880s. Actually, the first issue of silver certificates, the lowest denomination was $10. But in the 1880s, with some free silver agitation still going around, there was a new issue of 1 silver dollar notes, 2 silver dollar notes, and 5 silver dollar notes. There's Ulysses S. Grant on a 5 silver dollar certificate. There's the silver dollar on the back. There's Martha Washington on a 1 silver dollar certificate. This certifies that they have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States, 1 silver dollar payable to the bearer on demand, Washington, D.C., Martha Washington. It's actually interesting. In the 19th century, there was way more women on the currency than there are today. I mean, today, I guess we just have Sacagawea on the coin that nobody actually uses. Here in the 19th century, quite a few women. There's Martha Washington. There's Martha again with George on a $1 silver note, $2 silver certificate, $2 silver certificate. And these are seen as very safe notes as far as, you don't have the fractional reserve system. Okay, it's stored in the Treasury. It's deposited in the Treasury. Now, these silver certificates, because of the unease about silver, they were not legal tender for private debts. Okay, not legal tender for private debts. They were legal tender for public payments like taxes or any payment you had to make to the government, but they are not legal tender for private debts. So there was that cushion put in there. But silver certificates were definitely quite a lot of them out there, and they were a low enough denomination where ordinary people could use them from time to time. This is one of my favorites. This is Running Antelope of the Lakota tribe. This is a silver certificate, $5 silver from 1899. There's Running Antelope, and this is what that was based upon. This note, that is. So that's silver certificates. Okay. These actually continued through 1964. So, even after the Gold Standard Act, you could still, the federal government still would accept silver on deposit and occasionally issue these silver certificates. After 1900, it goes down a lot, but in the 1920s, there's an upsurge again in silver certificates. Not getting into all the details of why or whatever, but that another form of paper money. Then the last one, United States notes. United States notes. Now, what is this? It says the United States will pay to bear $500. Washington, D.C., United States note. Now, it doesn't say Federal Reserve note, so this presumably is issued by the federal government. And that is indeed the case. You'll remember when we talked about the Greenbacks in 1875, Congress set a date, January 1879, and beginning on that date, Greenbacks will be redeemable again in gold. Okay, so Greenbacks, the fiat paper currency during the Civil War, will be redeemable in gold once again in 1879. They had to leave a 4-year window there in order to accumulate gold, in order to do this redemption. Now, a lot of people presumed, these notes might all be retired. Okay, once redeemability kicks in, people are going to want their gold. But as the date approached, as 1879, January 1879 approached, there was enough faith in the federal government that these greenbacks were circulating pretty much at par with gold, and so many of the holders just chose not to redeem them and chose to keep using them, and they were, after all, legal tender. And so the greenback continued, but the reason why I said in the other lecture that it had ended is because it's not really the greenback anymore. It's not that fiat paper currency anymore. From this point forward, it's totally redeemable in gold. And the technical name is not greenback, but United States notes. And Congress did not prohibit the issuance of future United States notes so long as they were redeemable in gold. So they couldn't be fiat. So the fiat greenback is done. It's over, it's gone, no longer an issue. But the Treasury can still issue United States notes, and so long as it's redeemable at the Treasury in gold. Congress placed a ceiling on it, said you can't go beyond this amount. And the amount was, at first it was $300 million, and then it bumped up to $346. So that's the ceiling. Can't go beyond that. But the Treasury did go up to that. And so these United States notes, they were in circulation, fully redeemable in gold, and legal tender. And so, these continued through 1933. They never go more than 340 million. And so that ceiling prevents them from being a common currency but they are still there nevertheless. There's a $20 U.S. note, Alexander Hamilton. There's Andy Jackson, $5. Now, Andrew Jackson would like this note. He wouldn't have liked that Federal Reserve note, the $20 one we have today. Jackson would have been okay with something like this. It's redeemable in gold, and it's not based on any sort of fractional reserve shenanigans that Jackson didn't like in the banking system. It's issued by the federal government. There's Jefferson, a $2 United States note. This one's cool. This is from 1901. There's a bison on the front. Lewis and Clark of Louisiana fame. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous note. Now, you'll remember during the Panic of 1893, I said the gold in the U.S. Treasury vaults was going down, 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 down. It looked like it was disappearing because the U.S. commitment to gold was rocky after the Sherman Silver Purchase Act, and especially as populists began clamoring for free silver. This caused currency markets to rattle, and many, people approached note holders, foreign investors approached U.S. Treasury and wanted their gold, and this led to the crisis by 1895, which forced Cleveland to borrow a substantial sum from Morgan. Then, once Bryan was defeated, confidence was again restored. Okay. So anyway, that's what it looks like. Most people are using either these coins, okay, for higher transactions, because every now and then you did need several dollars, and you would use this gold coin. People are using a subsidiary coinage a lot. They might every now and then get a double eagle, right? There's not a lot you're gonna need $20 for, but you may every now and then, just like every now and then today, you may need to spend several $100. But people are primarily using these coins, and then they're using a lot of national banknotes. And because national banknotes, you have $1, $2, $5, $20, $5. These would have been notes of the common people, and you see some of these farmers, mechanics, National Bank of Buffalo, a small local bank at Milford, all these bank at San Francisco, Beardstown, Bank of North America. All these notes also would have been used by ordinary folks. And then from time to time, some silver certificates, perhaps. So anyway, that covers the basics. I will see you for part B, and we're going to take a look at J.P. Morgan and the money trust on the eve of the establishment of the Federal Reserve System in 1913. See you there.